behold, another session of Dreamtime with Danielle. And that is me. I am your host, Danielle, and I have before me a dream sent in by a viewer. Thanks, viewer. This dream comes from Adrienne. And Adrienne writes, at what was supposed to be my husband's grandma's place, deceased in real life and deceased in the dream. Doors to her room reminiscent in Japanese style, opaque, screened doors. One room had a leaky ceiling, but I was unable to see it. Long dream short, what stands out, besides a homeless man or two squatting there, was a dark green scarf made of fabric shamrocks, like a brocade style, on the floor next to the furniture. And that's the dream. So, thank you so much, Adrienne, for submitting your dream. Let us explore the symbolism that you've laid out for us today. Very homey. Okay, so the point of me drawing this home is that this is not your home. That immediately stands out to me. This is the home of someone else. Your husband's grandmother, deceased. When someone deceased in your dream shows up, something about their memory is calling to you. So something about the memory of this house. Now, I don't know the relationship that you, as our viewer, have to these things. We have here the house. This is a symbol of stability. The home garners the space within us that is safe, a place where we have learned, usually our first skills ever. Consider the saying, go back to base, back to the basics. The basics, these are the things we learn at home. If this is your husband's grandmother's house, then what were the things that you learned in this house? That's my first question to you. And what was your relationship to the grandma? Did you meet her in real life? Memories. Now we have Japanese style doors. If you're familiar with Japanese style doors, they slide open and closed. They are paneled, usually with wood and paper. This just looks like I drew a gate. You know what? Let's make them a little open. This is a better version of how Japanese sliding doors work. Traditional Western doors open inside and out. Generally opens into a room or outside of the space, but there's a swinging motion. Japanese style doors slide apart. This is about presentation to me. Ta-da! When something slides open, it reminds me of curtains being drawn in a show. When the curtains part, a story is being told. So what are the memories behind this home? What do they mean to you? It could be memories of cooking together, hearing stories of raising your husband, what he was like as a child. So it could be an attachment to a version of your husband that you never met because it was when he was younger. When these doors slide open and the presentation is made in this setting where I'm sure your husband has many memories of perhaps even being raised. Happy memories, sad memories, some memories being presented to you. So what we have is a leaky ceiling. Let me clear things up. Leak. It says here one of the rooms had a leaky ceiling, but she doesn't see it. Now, one thing we always talk about water in dreams. Water is always emotion. Water represents the state of your emotion. So what do we know about leaks? They're slow and they're constant. That's what makes them dangerous. Leaks happen over time. Generally, moisture. This is a pipe, apparently. Imagine a pipe, and you have just one little squeak that isn't entirely tight, and so moisture escapes through there and escapes through there. One droplet at a time, right? One droplet at a time. So you can imagine a droplet as one inescapable moment of emotion. One inescapable expression of emotion. Especially, we as people always have feelings that we try to suppress. We have feelings that we do express, but not all of them do we express, do we? And a leak tends to be water that's escaping that shouldn't. That's why we talk about emotion that you feel you shouldn't be feeling, that we feel we shouldn't be feeling. Think about things that leak. Information leaks out, so perhaps this is news that no one was supposed to know about. We also know gossip leaks, right? What are the emotions that are secret? What are the things we don't want people knowing about that are leaking through? And then it's on the ceiling. When we look up, the ceiling is part of the roof, but we don't see it as the roof because we're inside. We see it as the ceiling, which means that it covers us. It shields us. So what was shielding you that now is experiencing a leak? These don't even look like droplets. So what is this emotion that's leaking through? Consider the term the glass ceiling. That means that there's a stopping point even when it can't be seen. If the ceiling is the last thing to stop us before we go through the roof, and the roof is the last thing to stop rain before the rain hits us, then what is no longer stopping this emotion? It's not something you can see. That's something that is clearly said in the dream. One room had a leaky ceiling, but I was unable to see it. But in dreams, we have knowledge, spontaneous knowledge. We don't have to see things to know that they're happening. So when you cannot see, you are feeling. This is a feeling that you know about. Some information is going to come out. That's what happens with leaks. They leak until all the water rushes through. So at this point, you have the opportunity to explore that and express it. There doesn't have to be a rushing of water, a rushing of emotion. This is asking us to look deeper, go within. Go within, see what answers you have for yourself, because you do. That's what the dream is telling you. Now, there's two other things that really stand out. We have the homeless men. Oh boy. First, I must draw a homeless man. I'm sure this won't be offensive at all. Here's a beard. I have to express that he's a squatter in some way. This ain't my house. So, here I've drawn a little man. I've made his clothes a little baggy to imply that he doesn't go shopping, and he's squatting in the house. Here it says one or two. Let's take that to mean there's more than one person here. If there's more than one person who doesn't belong in the house of your husband's grandmother, then there's something about belonging. Now, I always say, we are everyone in our dreams. That means that you are the leak, you are the house, you are the Japanese-style doors, you are the homeless men. The question is, what do each parts of these things represent about you, the viewer? We discussed that you as a leak are expressing emotion that's coming out even when it's bottled up or channeled in one specific way. You as the Japanese doors are creating a presentation, about to tell a story. Or perhaps Japan has a special meaning for you. Doors open up opportunity. You as a homeless man would mean that there's a part of you that perhaps feels it doesn't belong, or it doesn't belong in that house. My other question would be, do you live in that house? Do you visit that house? How often are you there? And how do you feel when you're there? Because these feelings are communicating to you. These feelings may even be what that leak is about. And then the homeless men, homeless, this is not their home. A lot that's coming out to me is feeling like this is not your home, feeling out of place there. The leak is out of place. Even the Japanese doors may seem out of place depending on what the inside of the house looks like. We're gonna say bye to this little homeless fella now. Hey, you're gonna get a home. It's on the other side of this towel. Bye! The last thing, dark green scarf. Okay, now we're drawing some shamrocks. This is a scarf. This is a really tall shamrock. It looks like it's wearing a gallon hat. This scarf has fabric shamrocks, like brocade style. Brocade is a beautiful, rich fabric that has raised stitching on top of it, which means this is a beautiful, rich fabric on the floor, which has beautiful stitching of shamrocks across it. And it's green. First, let's talk about the color green. This resonates with our heart chakra. If you're familiar with all of the chakras, the energy points in a body that everyone has, they correspond to colors, and the heart is green. This may be unexpected because we usually assimilate romance with red and pink and white, but green is the color of nature. Green is the color of the plants that grow, the plants that feed the animals that we consume, whether we consume animals or just plants. So green is the natural state of our heart. A scarf is something that protects you from the elements. It keeps you warm. It keeps you fashionable. It can be an accent piece. And a brocade scarf, which means this is a very rich piece of fabric, but it's on the floor. Has it been discarded? Is it waiting to be picked up? In here it says it's next to some furniture, so I put a chair. The scarf on the floor, it could mean someone was here, or don't forget about me. I've left something I've forgotten about. Remember, the dream is mostly going to make sense to the dreamer, so I'm throwing out there potential ideas. Only you will know what it means to you. But if any of these resonate, that's a great sign that you're on the way. Shamrocks or clovers, 3-leaf clovers, 4-leaf clovers, these are traditionally signs of good luck, but they actually have other meanings. The 3-leaf clover was taken when, Catholicism came to Ireland, and the 3-leaf clover was used to represent the Holy Trinity. So there's some religion here, if that is something you subscribe to. But what each leaf means is faith, hope, love. Faith, hope, love. Those are the meanings behind a shamrock. And of course, if you get the 4th one, that's the luck. So when you have these beautiful symbols of love and luck, richly attached to a beautiful fabric, this seems like a calling card. Was your husband's grandmother Irish? Did she have a love for Ireland? Is there significance behind this to you beyond the love, faith, and hope, protection? Perhaps within this house you will always find faith, hope, and love, even when feeling like an outsider. Or perhaps these homeless men, these outsiders, are people intruding on what was once a sacred space for family, a sacred space for our elders, our wise ones. Well, this has been the exploration of our symbols. I hope this helps. Thank you so much, Adrienne, for sending in your dream, and do let me know what you think. And if any other symbols jumped out at you, be sure to share them with me. I'm happy to catch the ones I know, but I'm always happy to learn more. And remember, if you would like me to review your dream and put your symbols up, information is down below. Be sure to reach out and join me next time for another glorious session of Dreamtime with Danielle. Yeah!